Good morning, everyone. My name is Shashank Jardi Jambula, and today I'll be presenting my project on using nltk for natural language processing. Over the next 20 minutes, I'll walk you through what nltk is, why it's such a popular toolkit for text analysis, and how it helps computers understand human language. Um, so we'll go step by step from installation and basic functions like tokenization and tagging to real world applications like sentiment analysis. And I'll also discuss its advantages, limitations, and why it's still such an important library for anyone learning NLP today. Okay, so let's get started. So slide 2, here's a quick overview of what I'll be covering today. I will start with an introduction to what NLTK actually is, then talk about why it's useful and where it fits in the NLP ecosystem. After that, I'll explain how to install and set it up. Then we'll dive into some of the core features, things like tokenization, part of speech tagging, and sentiment analysis. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at NLTK's advantages and limitations and how it compares to more modern NLP tools. So, by the end of this session, you'll have a good understanding of both the theory and the hands on use of NLTK. Next slide. So, the introduction to NLTK. So, first, what exactly is NLTK? NLTK stands for Natural Language Toolkit. It's a Python library that helps computers process and analyze human language. It's like a huge like big toolbox. It has tools for breaking down text, labeling words, analyzing meaning, and even understanding the grammar. So what's really cool is that NLTK comes with a ton of built-in datasets, sample text, and functions that make it easy to experiment and learn. Also, it's widely used in research and education because it makes NLP approachable even for the beginners. And in simple words, if we ever want to make a chatbot analyze tweets or summarize text, NLTK often is the first library people start with. So coming to the next slide, it's about the significance of the NLTK in NLP. So now let's talk about why NLTK is such a big deal. First of all, it's incredibly robust. It supports almost every foundational NLP task, from breaking text into words to parsing full sentences. Second, it's a research favorite. Universities across the world use NLTK in their NLP and data science courses because it makes complex topics so much easier to demonstrate. Third, it's versatile. You can use it for simple projects like counting word frequency or advanced ones like training a text classifier. And finally, it's backed by a large community. So if you ever get stuck, chances are someone has already solved your issue online. NLTK is basically opened the door for modern NLP by making it accessible to everyone. So why I choose NLTK? Honestly, because it's one of the best libraries to understand the core logic of the NLP. Many modern libraries like Spacey or Hugging Face are faster, but they hide a lot of inner working. NLTK, on the other hand, makes you see what exactly happening behind the scenes. It's also perfect for students because it's well documented and has hundreds of tutorials available online. Also, it's practical because you can build small projects like text summarizers, sentiment analyzers, and chatbots with a few lines of code. So I wanted to show how much you can do with something that's free, simple, and built entirely in Python. So coming to the installation and setup, it's super easy. You just open your terminal or Jupyter notebook and type pip install nltk. Once that's done, you'll need to download in language resources. You can do that with a command nltk.download. That command opens a little interface where you can select which datasets or models you want to use. let's say like tokenizers, corpora, or sample text. Personally, I recommend downloading everything once at the start. It takes few minutes but ensures all features work smoothly thereafter. Once that's done, you are ready to start coding in the Python. So, and next we come to the importance of NLTK data. Why is downloading data important? Because most NLP tasks depend on linguistic resources. NLTK includes things like WordNet lexicon, pre-labeled part of speech corpora, and datasets for sentiment training. So without these, you'll get errors when trying to run certain features. Like NLTK is the software, but the downloaded corpora are the data it needs to think and learn. So this step is essential before you move on to the analysis part. So coming to the next, we come to the tokenization, which is one of the most fundamental NLP tasks. Tokenization simply means splitting text into smaller pieces called tokens, usually words or sentences. For example, if I have the sentence NLTK is powerful tool for NLP, tokenization will break it down into separate words like NLTK is a powerful tool for NLP. So why is this useful? Because most NLP or algorithms can't process long text strings directly. They need words separated for analysis. It's like a kind of teaching a computer how to see text as individual pieces instead of a one big blob. So yeah, tokenization helps you quickly count how often certain words appear or spot patterns like repeated complaints. NLTK also allows for customer tokenization. For example, splitting tweets while keeping hashtags or emojis separate. So it's both flexible and extremely practical, especially when dealing with messy real world data. And coming to the next slide, it's about part of speech tagging. Once the text is tokenized, the next big step is part of speech tagging, or we call POS tagging. This process identifies the grammatical category of each word, like what's a noun, verb, adjective, and so on. For example, in the sentence, the cat sat on the mat, or like let's say she sings beautifully. So here she is a pronoun, sings is verb, and beautifully is adverb. This step is really useful because it helps the computer understand not just the verbs but also how they function in a sentence, something that's important for translation, summarization, and even for the sentiment analysis. This slide shows the code example of how POS tagging works in NLTK. You tokenize your sentence and then call the function nltk.pos tag, and the output will be like dt, nn, and so on. Each of these two letter tags is a standard grammar symbol. Like for instance, nn means noun, vv means verb, and so on. This is a powerful way to add structure and meaning to text. In a way, POS tagging lets the machine understand the grammar very well. And words like playing, played, and plays all come from the root play. Stemming just chops off the ending. It's fast but not always perfect. Whereas the lemmatization is smarter. It uses vocabulary and grammar to find the correct base word. So NLTK's spotter, stemmer, and WordNet lemmatizer are often used together for text normalization. This helps models read a different form of the word as one concept, improving the accuracy. Coming to the next slide, it's one of the coolest parts, which is sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is about finding out if a sentence or a document expresses a positive, negative, or a neutral emotion. It's used everywhere, like social media analytics, in movie reviews, marketing, and also even politics. For example, if someone tweets I love this new update. That's clearly positive. NLTK provides a pre-built module called Sentiment Intensity Analyzer, which uses a lexicon-based approach to score the each sentence. It's surprisingly accurate for general sentiment detection, even though it's lightweight. Also, uh, NLTK intensity analysis. You import the class, create an instance, and run it on any text. Let's say, let's see. So the output gives for four scores like negative, neutral, positive, and a combined compound score. For example, let's say the product is amazing. It might get a score of plus 0.9, while this is awful. Uh, the might score would be around 0.8 or something. This kind of tool is widely used by businesses to automatically evaluate larger volumes of customer feedback. And also, it's an handy resource for performing sentiment analysis and making informed decisions based on sentiment trends. So this is a Python code illustrating how NLTK can be applied to perform text preprocessing, POS tagging, and sentiment analysis on a set of social media posts or tweets. And here is the output. So the post was excited about the new product launch. Hashtag tech launch 2023. So the POS tags could be excited, which is VBN, about, is in, and so on. So the sentiment here is positive. So the sentiment scores will be like negative is 0, neutral is 0.69, positive is 0.31, and the compound will be 0.4 or something. And let's take for the other thing, the post is the new product is amazing, but the price is too high. So here the new product, this all comes under the POS tags, and the sentiment is positive. When coming to the sentiment scores, the negative is 0.0 and neutral is 0.8, positive is 0.1, and the compound will be 0.34. So in this code, we pre-process the social media post, and we perform POS tagging and conduct sentiment analysis using NLTK sentiment intensity analyzer. And the results include POS tags and sentiment classifications for each post. Right. So coming to the next slide, it's about the advantages of NLTK. So firstly, what makes NLTK so great? In the first, it's comprehensive. It covers almost every NLP function you think of. Second, it's beginner friendly. The syntax is simple and the community support is excellent. And the third, it's customizable. You can easily combine NLTK with libraries like scikit-learn, pandas, or even TensorFlow. And lastly, it's free and open source, which makes it perfect for students, researchers, and educators. Even though newer libraries exist, NLTK remains an incredible starting point for NLP learners step by step. Coming to the next slide, it's about the limitations and conclusions. Now, every tool has its drawbacks, and NLTK is no exception. Some of its functions are a bit slower compared to modern frameworks like Spacey or Hugging Face transformers. It's not ideal for massive datasets or real-time product system. But when it comes to learning, understanding algorithms, and small to medium projects, NLTK still shines. Also, uh, NLTK might not be the fastest tool, which could be an issue when dealing with large data sets, and it also lacks some resources, and it can take some significant storage space for the data. And coming to the customization complexity, customizing NLTK can be challenging because it might not be the best choice for highly specialized tasks. And also, for the real time processing, it's not the best choice for the real time NLP applications. And to conclude, NLTK is more than just a Python library, it's a bridge between linguistic theory and machine learning. It helps us to see how language can be broke down, analyzed, and even understood by the machines. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation gave you a clear view of how NLTK powers natural language processing. Thank you for the opportunity.